Sharing my experience of doing OMAD for 7+ years, my 2 previous videos address the plan's application for bodybuilding and improving life quality and mental health and performance. Building on that, this will focus on OMAD's utility for spiritual development. With this said, like the video if you enjoyed, watch the previous if you haven't already, check whether you'll be interested in what my book offers, subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this, and perhaps to my other channel if into alternative forms of spirituality, and let's begin. The animal soul. One of the first things students of Hermetic Kabbalah learn is that the human soul is divided into 4 parts: the Kia, the Neshama, the Ruach and the Nefesh. Being the lowest and associated with the Freudian id, the Nefesh encompasses basic instincts and desires like those for sex and food. It is said that the Nefesh is a source of psychosexual energy, and when hungry it does everything possible to sabotage your work. Also referred to as the animal soul and the individual unconscious, to serve your greater good, the Nefesh must be reconciled and incorporated with all other parts. Unlike what is encouraged by society and religion, this however isn't done by suppressing, denying or punishing the Nefesh. That is actually a recipe for some catastrophic consequences. The key instead is making it collaborate gently and effectively as expressed on the strength or worst major arcana. Only then the Nefesh's urges and energy might be channeled in productive ways. Failing to understand this, numerous people spend a lifetime in a permanent conflict with their Nefesh. Though not the same, I think this partially resembles Gurdjieff's concept of the 4 bodies or rooms, and how by only living in the lowest, most people never get to crystallize the upper 3, spending their lives as a quote-unquote mindless machines to be permanently programmed by basic urges and other influences. If into classic self-help and New Thought, then you'll likely recognize this as very similar to not mastering the 3 basic appetites to obtain self-discipline/mastery as outlined in Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. The 3 basic appetites are for sex, food and loosely organized opinions. Yet, based on meditations and experience, I believe nailing the 3rd mostly results from mastering the first couple. Since an elaborate explication of this is found in my book's 3rd section, here I'll only say that while NoFap and devices like cyclical celibacy are indispensable for achieving this, the same applies to the OMAD plan that works on a different aspect of the very same thing, getting the Nefesh under control. 2 opposites. And now, let us consider Dr. Benjamin Bikman's comparison of insulin and glucagon to yin and yang, and how that corresponds to the Kabbalistic tree of life. Something to immediately recognize when looking at the water are its 3 pillars. Called bolos and yakin, the side 2 are of mildness and severity. Representing the masculine principle, the white symbolizes growth, expansion, building, etc. The black on the other hand is feminine and represents discipline, destruction and harshness. While some intricacies behind this arrangement are addressed in a video on my other channel, here I'll only touch on a fundamental lesson conveyed by this ageless glyph. Namely, wellness and prosperity aren't obtained through the denial of one of those opposites. Instead, that is achieved through their permanent reconciliation and integration. And that is what the middle or the pillar of balance is all about. Appreciating the world and oneself in their totality, having a balanced attitude and not swinging the pendulum too much to one side or the other as written in the Kybalion. Although this is recognized everywhere in nature, i.e. the day and the night, the seasons, the ocean tides, etc., humans tend to keep themselves sick and miserable by instilling on themselves a very destructive one-sidedness. Like most of them believe in a quote-unquote all-good anthropomorphic god to be usually depicted as an abusive old father figure, they also have eating habits, constantly keeping their bodies in a highly insulinogenic state. Therefore, they entirely miss the point, neglecting the second principle or 1/2 of the totality. Now, I really don't know about you, but since that is how nature made it, it makes a pretty solid sense to let my body use both glucagon and insulin, applying this reconciliation. And this I think is another that the OMAD plan does automatically. I work, exercise and take care of stuff throughout the day, letting glucagon do its job, burning stored energy. When the night approaches, I enter the realm of nourishment and relaxation. I eat my meal, activating insulin and the processes of building in recovery. Then I fall asleep and repeat this cycle on the next day. My nefesh has its time to fully enjoy food, entertainment and other pleasures, and my conscious mind or ruach has the resources available to do what it does. And while I might be wrong, I feel they're both satisfied operating in agreement, and that is something I would like you to think about. So, as mentioned, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to both of my channels if you find the topics of this video interesting. Also consider checking my book to find out whether you'll be interested in using it. Besides how to build your best physique naturally while getting your basic urges under control, the book has a section on spiritual development, science and drugs' place in our society, and some important life lessons I learned on my own journey. Thank you for your time.